for you because it's the championship of the C0ffeecast Open tournament. And we have two really, really high-level players playing for us here. aciesPure, who is spawning in the top right-hand corner as the red Protoss here on MLG Xel'Naga Caverns. And down on the bottom left, we do have aciesSpawn, our blue Zerg, who is actually up 2-0 in this series, this best-of-7 series in the championship. Very surprising, as Pure has looked so solid, but I guess Spawn has just been overlooked. To cast this awesome series with me, though, I need some help from an awesome guy named Sleeper Cells.
Yes, I am awesome, quite awesome indeed. But no, I am here to give your voice a little bit of a breather, I suppose. And I'm going to start off by just analyzing the map choice here from Pure. Normally, I would say this is an absolutely fantastic pick for a PvZ. But that being said, I've noticed a lot of really nice 2-base timings come out of Spawn. So I feel like, honestly, this might be a good map for Spawn as well. So I could not call which player this map is personally going to favor. But I would say overall a good map choice from Pure.
I see where you're coming with that, because for those of you who have not watched the other two games, Spawn has done some very nice heavy roach timing attacks where he's just pretty much pounded it down Pure's throat until Pure couldn't breathe anymore. In the first game, I mean, he just went mass roach and pretty much just bear mauled Pure's army, and in the second game, he actually did a multi-pronged roach attack where he sent roaches into Pure's third and then dropped Pure's main with, 14 overlords full of roaches.
A lot of roaches.
And pretty much bear mauled Pure in that game as well. So I think I would actually go ahead and say that this game favors aciesSpawn because there's so many different attack routes for him to hit. I mean, he could come up through the bushes, come up the left side of this little hole, come up the right side, and I mean, the entire area in the main could be dropped.
Upwards of 3 attack paths.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a lot in Starcraft too. Nonetheless.
Well, you got these rocks once the rocks is broken down.
That's true. We do have a spine crawler, interestingly enough, going up in aciesSpawn's mineral line right now. I don't quite know what I think about that positioning. It does look like Pure's going to go for one base play, though.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't feel like Pure is going to go for too much of a one base. A little bit of lag there.
Spine crawler just got canceled at the last moment.
Good.
We do have a Roach Warren thrown down very early, though, before the expansion this time. Pure is playing a very safe game here, deciding to wall up on the top of his ramp rather than doing a Forge Fast expand. Just probably trying to switch up his strategy a little bit, as Spawn has had Pure pegged in the last couple of games. So off of one base, what do you think that Pure might be thinking about doing?
Well, I mean, there is a variety of different little things you can do off one base. I personally do enjoy the 3-gate DT expand. Which is actually awesome in general, just because it's one of those things where you hate having something like that happen to you, but it just feels so good when you get those DTs in your opponent's run line and there's no detection. I don't feel like that's going to happen to Spawn. Spawn's still not expanding. Going for, I believe, a 7-roach rush here, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Here come, that'd be 5 roaches with 1 more on the way, so it's actually going to be a random 6-roach rush. And we do have a sentry being not chronobusted out, but is coming out for aciesPure here. So we'll have that 1 force field on the ramp, and it does look like it will indeed be a 4-gate blink stalker all in, probably, I would assume. Maybe DTs, but I would assume blink stalker.
If he gets that far, because these 5 roaches are on their way, and there's only a zealot and a stalker, zealot and a sentry left back to defend, a 2nd sentry on the way. The sentry's going to have to make sure to get that force field right in place, so otherwise these roaches will come right up the ramp. And indeed, we do have blink on the way.
Well, Spawn did flub this up just a little bit here. He did not have nice force field. Is able to deny that 1 roach.
But
however,
he does have sight up onto the high ground. That zealot does not fall.
Yeah, he's going to have to take that up pretty quick here. He does have a 2nd sentry, and that will allow the force field, and here comes the warp gates, so he's going to be perfectly fine here, and he's going to take a very early lead in this game. And this all in, with this expand coming out of Spawn, could be very good for Pure.
I would completely agree, and this is exactly what Pure needs to do. Mix it up a little bit instead of doing that 1-base play. Get some stalkers out. maybe get a robotics out to be able to blink up onto the high ground, but I think that he's just going to try to muscle it down Spawn's throat, and I kind of like that because Spawn has just been muscling it down Pure's throat, so why not do the same exact thing back? Spawn did try to do this roach bust, but it did fail. He did have an expansion up behind it, so economically he'll be fine, but technologically he is behind.
Oh, for certain. He is going to try and go up the ramp here, but actually force fielding there. I don't think he actually even needed a force field there. There's only three roaches left, and unfortunately I don't think 3 roaches beat this army. I don't know. I don't know if there's been a recent patch or not that make roaches have 2 armor again, but usually 3 roaches can't beat this particular army of Pure, and I would really like to see Pure go on the go a little bit aggressive here, because Spawn has just been droning really hard here, and that is the downside of doing this build. He is going to be okay in the economy, but it forced him to make those early units, which means he did not have those drones early game, which means that Pure is just going to have a really good army.
Yes, he will. We do have
That
the
makes
forward
sense.
pylon placed over on the left side, and Pure does look like he's getting ready to push on up, placing yet another forward pylon just outside of Spawn's base. I don't think Spawn realizes the danger here, as he has laid down no additional spine crawlers. Could really use any extra defense he can get. Only has zealots, zerglings, and roaches on the field right now.
I mean, he doesn't even have all that much money here. I mean, yeah, he's got 2K, or not 2K. If he had 2K, he'd be perfectly fine. But no, he's only got about 200. And he's investing most of that into army here, but that army just looks so pathetic here. Just a couple zerglings, a couple roaches. Now the additional spine crawlers coming down, but they're going to be way too late. Here comes aciesSpure's army. We're going to see some decent force fields. Those were somewhat decent. Zealots aren't going to be able to get any surface area here, but he did not have very many of them. Unlike the first game, a couple transfuses going down from those queens. There's the blink micro from aciesSpawn. aciesSpawn just moving in here is going to be able to take out these 2 spine crawlers. No problem. Drones can hold off the line. More force fields going down here. All the roaches being taken out, and there's actually going to be a canceled spine crawler here, and all of the army is going to be taken out for Spawn drones, all of them being pulled off the line. Decent blink micro here, and there is almost no army left for Spawn. It looks like Pure may be able to take his first game of this series.
Indeed. Very nice blink micro by Pure, able to just keep linking those targets back, keeping them alive as long as possible. A few extra reinforcing roaches coming in, but it's just not going to quite be enough as those two kind of trickle in. And there are some rare nerf targets in this battle that have already regenerated their shields. So that just tells you how long this battle has gone on and how all in Pure is here. But it doesn't matter if he's all in because he's going to win the all in. I mean, there's almost 16 targets left. Yes, and there's the GG from Spawn. A very well played game by aciesPure, making sure to mix it up a little bit in that matchup so that he can, well, pretty much continue on in this series.
I absolutely love what aciesPure just did there. Simply, instead of doing what he'd done every other game, he was able to break out of low-level player tourney syndrome, which is doing the same thing absolutely every game per matchup, of course. So he was able to pull a little bit of a trick, a little bit of cheese out of the hat there to counter, of course, that can't forget that 7-roach rush from Spawn at the beginning there. So he was able to take that game. Very well done by him.
Yes, indeed it was. We are going to take a quick break here, and when we get back, we will go ahead and bring on game number 4 in this best of 7 series in the championship round. So don't go.